Man, this one is rough. It really hits close to home, you know.
Yeah.
We're diving into the death of Ray Hodges,
Right.
a 36-year-old postal worker who was stabbed to death
Oh, wow.
at a Harlem deli.
In a deli.
Yeah, in broad daylight.
That's scary.
We had some news excerpts that detail what happened.
Okay.
And today we're going to try to understand, like, what are the facts of this case?
Yeah.
And what might they tell us about,
about safety and safety.
Yeah, just like in seemingly regular places. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely one of those cases that kind of forces you to confront that contrast between like
Yeah.
perceived safety
Right.
and the reality of violence that can just sort of erupt unexpectedly.
Absolutely. I mean, Ray Hodges was just doing his job delivering mail.
Right.
Like something we all see every day
Right.
and don't even think twice about, and then this happens.
Right.
Can you tell us a bit more about, like, the risks that postal workers face daily?
Yeah. Well, you might be surprised to learn that the job is actually considered one of the most dangerous in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that in 2023, there were over 5,000
Wow.
assaults and violent acts against postal workers.
Wow.
And sadly, some of them were even fatal.
Oh, my gosh.
Their consistent routes and their visibility make them, unfortunately, potential targets. Exactly.
Wow. It's just unsettling to think about, somebody we see so often in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, they're vulnerable like that.
Right.
And it kind of adds another layer to it, too.
Yeah.
Because this happened at Joe's Grocery.
Right.
A deli.
A deli.
On Malcolm X Boulevard.
Wow.
You don't usually think about a deli and associate that with that kind of violence.
Yeah, you're right. Delis, they often kind of serve as these community hubs.
Yeah.
Where people gather, grab a bite to eat, interact with their neighbor, And statistically, they're not usually considered crime hotspots. So this makes this incident, even more jarring.
Yeah.
Kind of amplifies the shock and fear,
Yeah. And it even happened in broad daylight.
Wow.
Around 2:30 p.m.
Oh, my gosh.
On Malcolm X Boulevard.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even tell us about urban crime patterns?
Well, I mean, I think it really challenges a lot of our assumptions about when and where these kinds of tragedies occur.
Right.
Crime rates can fluctuate, obviously, based on all sorts of factors like, visibility and police presence and all that.
Right.
But the fact that this happened
in the middle of the afternoon,
the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really contributes to that feeling of unpredictability.
Yeah. Totally. It disrupts any illusion we might have about,
being safe,
being able to fully anticipate or avoid these situations.
It's crazy. And the suspect in this case.
Yeah. Okay.
25 years old.
Okay.
Has been charged with second-degree murder.
Wow.
And first-degree manslaughter. Those are some serious charges.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain the differences between those two?
Sure. So second-degree murder generally implies an intentional killing.
Okay.
But without premeditation.
Okay.
So it wasn't planned.
Okay.
But it was still intentional.
Gotcha.
Whereas first-degree manslaughter suggests that the killing resulted from an intent to cause serious physical harm, but not necessarily death.
Okay.
So the prosecution in this case, they're going to need to really prove the specific intent behind Cruz's actions to get a conviction.
To really figure out, like, what was going on there.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a reminder that violence can really erupt anywhere.
It's true.
And just shatter the lives of the victims and their families.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah. What do we know about Ray Hodges?
Yeah.
Like, beyond his job?
Well, unfortunately, the news excerpts you provided really focus primarily on the incident itself.
Right.
But I think it's important for us to remember that, Ray Hodges was more than just a postal worker.
Right.
He was, someone's son, maybe a friend, a neighbor, and his life was tragically cut short.
Right.
And this loss, it ripples through his community.
Yeah, absolutely. This case just raises so many questions.
It does.
Especially about how to ensure that, like, these ordinary places like delis are safe for both workers and customers.
Right. It's a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
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 And this incident, I think, forces us to consider,
Yeah.
How can we create safer communities?
Right.
How can we address the root causes of this violence? How can urban planning and design contribute to a greater sense of security?
Yeah.
These are complex issues.
Absolutely.
They require a lot of thought and a lot of action to come up with solutions.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a tough one.
Yeah, it has.
But thank you for joining me on this deep dive.
Of course. Always happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
To all our listeners out there, stay safe. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Be careful out there.